Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. This is the Lumia FAQ, formerly known as Journey. John, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And yeah, I'm excited to be here and talk about all the things.
All the things. Let's
Yeah.
start at the beginning. Who are you? What is your relationship to me? What is your relationship to Lumia? How do we know each other?
Oh man, who am I? I'm a guy who went through a divorce about 13 years ago and was kind of fed up with the clinical world. I was in training to become a therapist, so I started a blog and I decided to work in a way that was more honest to me. And Noelle fell from the sky to help me because I needed help. And this was back in the day. And then of course, from that collision we created this intensive, and we've been teaching people how to help other people, and also being a catalyst just in their personal journeys as well, um, through this intensive for the last, was over about a decade, maybe, I don't know, give or take.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming up on a decade. So when John and I started out in the space of coaching, it wasn't an established field. The
Mhm.
ICF was around, but nobody really knew what they were. The ethics and standards of coaching hadn't quite been formed, and people were looking for community. They were looking for a way to gain cutting edge knowledge because you really had to go out and look for it when we were
Mhm.
rolling around. And John's right, I did fall from the sky. I read an article that he wrote several years ago. And at the time, I had gone through my own coach certification. I started out in the space of executive coaching, and I was in graduate school. I was doing something totally different. I was working with applied positive psychology and body image recovery, which is still a passion of mine. And I emailed John, a stranger from across the country. And I think that's a really beautiful foundation for Lumia, because Lumia is about the connections that you make with other people, and how together, by combining our thought, by combining our intention, we can build really beautiful things.
Mhm.
And John said, wow, you're a great writer. Why don't you join my team? And something that's really important in this story is what we know from the work of coaching is that you all have not met your future selves yet. So when I started out on my path as a coach, I knew I loved positive psychology. I knew I loved helping people. I had no idea I was good at business. I had
Mhm.
no idea I was good at strategy. I had no idea that I was good at leadership. And it was only after combining with other people, with other coaches, and really committing to a teaching and learning environment did we all build this beautiful organization together. And we've been around for about 10 years. So
Yeah.
let's get into it. Let's answer one of the big questions. What is coaching for those who are
Yes.
just coming to the
That's
table?
so my definition of coaching would be, A, it's a partnership.
Yep.
You're not a therapist,
Nope.
and you're guiding someone. So you're not telling people what to do. You're using the art of questioning to guide. And I love you saying that it's you're holding up a mirror and a flashlight. Yeah, and I'm a visual person, and that really I love that. It's so simple.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. So, coaching is a partnership.
Hmm.
It's a strategic partnership. And what you're doing when you're guiding your client, as John said, is you're guiding your client through the path of inquiry,
Hmm.
asking the big questions of what is the future vision that I want for myself. And then together, coach and client develop an action plan and work together week after week to foster accountability, growth, movement, reflection, all moving forward in pursuit of our clients' goals.
Yes, coaching is also, uh, we believe, the new way to help people, and it's
Yeah.
an emerging field that is growing at a rapid pace.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is. So, coaching has only been around for about 35 years. And both John and I firmly believe that coaching represents discipline of hope, because in coaching, we're all intentionally choosing to build our way forward together, which is so
Hmm.
important. So, let's get into it. How do you see Lumia as
Mm.
different from other coach training programs and other coaching collectives out in the world?
One element is the community.
Yeah,
One of the things that really makes us stand out is the authenticity of our community, and all of us kind of holding hands and doing this together. Because this can be a very lonely journey, or at
it
least it
can
was for
be.
me. Yeah.
It can be. The community is so important. And what I love about our community is also what I love about our instructors and our curriculum. We're really diverse across the board, and we provide a home for progressive thought, for progressive tenets. We are not a cookie cutter program. Our program is science backed, it's evidence based, and has 25 diverse instructors who are all experts in their field.
Mm.
And in that, we don't shy away from the hard topics. We talk about difference. We talk about mindfulness. We talk about bias. We talk about where the world is at and bring to the fore the tools that truly people need, coach and client alike, to have hard conversations as we're in the business of helping people overcome challenges.
Yeah. We're also different in that we're a coaching test kitchen. We
Yeah.
like playing in the sandbox.
It's true. It's true. And when you come into our program, what you'll notice is that after every single class, we ask questions of our students. How was this for you? What were your main takeaways? What did you hope to learn that you didn't? And by asking these questions, we not only get a pulse on what are the learning outcomes that are taking place, but what do we need to build on?
Hmm.
What more education do we need to provide to our students? And we are constantly updating, revising, creating new curriculum, and not just keeping it for those who are new, but rolling it out to every single person within our organization so that everyone consistently has access to the best that's coming out of our field.
Yes. And finally, Lumia is built with a busy adult learner in mind. That means that you could have a full-time job, you could be
Mhm.
raising children, um, you could do many things while you're also in here with us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, as we're thinking about the adult learner and what's important, we know that all of the students who come through our program want to achieve the best quality education that they can
Hmm.
in the space of coaching because it is a commitment. And so, for that reason, we are accredited by the International Coaching Federation. We regularly update our accreditation. We go through the process every year to make sure that we're in lockstep with the best standards of the field. And everyone who graduates from our program has that international stamp of approval and can gain a credential that's recognized literally all over the world.
Yeah, which is so important.
Oh,
Who is Lumia for?
yeah. Lumia is for those who want to help others through coaching,
Hmm.
uh, for folks who think differently,
Hmm.
who want to launch their own coaching practice, up level their personal and professional toolkit. And Lumia is for people who want to be around a group of like minded, fun loving, awesome, zest filled champions of life.
Yes, and I also want to throw in, it's also for people who want to go on their own personal inner journey. So it's not just about helping other people, it's about yourself as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's it like to be a part of the Lumia community? What's it like on the inside? Who do you see in your office hours every week? What's it, give us the scoop.
I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is it's casual over clinical, meaning we kind of come as we are, you know. The whole point of this community doing life together is to practice our authenticity. I talk a lot about the solid self, is to be in that state and come as you are, and so we can support you, champion your story. It's a powerful experience. It's one of the benefits of this program.
Oh, yeah. And I think too, when we're thinking about what it's like to be a part of a community of coaches, what you said earlier about the path being lonely. is so
Hmm.
important to remember. And for the very same reason that coaching is effective, because you have a partnership to roll through life with, that's the way our community holds up and supports everyone who comes through
Hmm.
our organization. And there's referral opportunities, there's our peer partnership, our business development support, our professional development, including South by Southwest and all of the workshop opportunities, the retreats, live and virtual, that we have every year. This is so much more than a coach training program. This is a
Hmm.
family. And as you say often, it's a way of life.
Yeah, absolutely. One question that we get often is, when is the right time to become a coach?
Yeah. Well, there is no right time to become a
Hmm.
coach. And often what I see is that people have been circling this decision for a really long time.
Right.
And they hold back, they look in the water, they put their toes in, they pull them out, and they're filled with self-doubt. And one of the things that I think all folks who are going to become a coach can really use to pull from empathy is that this is the exact same position that all of their clients are in.
Hmm.
Whenever somebody wants to make a change, whenever somebody wants to do something different with our life, there's that waiting period. And so if you've been thinking about this for, I don't know, 9 months, you could already have been through the program. You could already be a certified coach by now. And there are a couple of other factors to consider. So, John, you've seen the diversity of our students in your classroom. Did you know
Hmm.
that our youngest coach is 21 and our
Wow.
oldest coach is 72?
Yeah, I love that. I love the spectrum. You know, we throw a very wide net.
It's true.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I love about the field of coaching itself and the International Coaching Federation is that coaching is an entry point that's accessible to people from all walks of life. You don't need to have a college education. You don't need to have a high school diploma in order
Hmm.
to gain an internationally recognized certificate in coaching. What you do need to be able to do to join our program is to get onto your computer, to read, to write, to speak, to listen, to ask questions, and you will be able to become an ICF professional.
So speaking of getting onto a computer, where does this magic happen? Where does Lumia take place? And also, what's the time commitment?
Yeah. So we are 100% virtual.
Hmm.
Everything is online. So we break down the barriers no matter where you live for different kinds of access. And we do have optional in-person community events throughout the year, but we try to run everything also online so that everybody can access the different points of our program. The program itself takes 6 to 9 months to complete, and it's a 2-hour commitment every week, 2 hours of live class. And then you'll do some additional hours at your own pace, reading, writing, homework, peer coaching on the side. And another thing that I think is joyful as part of our program are the built-in supports.
Hmm.
So you have your office hours every week.
Hmm.
I do coaching mastery once a month, which is really cool. I take a unique piece of research that I've done and present it just for our community for continuing coach education. We have cohort connections, which is where everyone in their cohort has a chance to bond, gather, get to know each other. And then coaches cafes. Pam hosts the coaches cafes. John, have you ever gone to one?
I have not, but I'm a big fan of Pam, and
Yeah.
she's like our house mom. And yeah.
Yeah. So the coaches cafes are really cool.
Mm.
It's set up kind of like with the coffee shop in mind, and everyone comes to talk about where they're at, what they need at this given moment. And all of the coaches show up and support each other and talk about their real lives and their real challenges and their real businesses. And everybody comes away both giving and gaining support in the coaches
Yeah.
cafes.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, Noelle has her office hours.
Mhm.
I have mine once a week, and I love that we all show up and open our doors in our own unique way. So they're all different spaces, you know.
Yeah. When I went through coach training, one of the most confusing things was that there was such a distance between the ideas that you were learning and how you enact it in your real life.
Hmm.
And with Lumia, it's real people, real life. your real career, your real business, and everyone shows up in such an accessible way that it makes it feel really possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Do the classes fill up? Are they capped?
They are. We have enrollment deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we like to have maximum 25 students in a class. 20 to 25 students is what you can expect for your unique cohort. And that makes for a really nice learning environment. We
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that everyone has a space to speak, to be heard, and that there aren't too many voices drowning out each learning experience. And many times students wait until the very last minute and then they dive in and they feel upset because they can't get into the cohort that they wanted. So if there's a specific date and time that would work for you, I encourage everyone to really just go for it. Make sure that you can get into the group that works the best for your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to us to make that possible.
Yeah, and there's an intimacy to this whole thing, and the classes are live, so they're very personal, and that's why we cap it so it doesn't feel like a webinar.
Oh no, not at
Right.
all. It's more like the breakfast club. It's
Yeah.
the folks that you travel with week to week, learning from different instructors every week, and the material really comes to life in
Yeah.
between. So this is what we're going to talk about next, the material.
Mm-hmm.
So what specifically will we learn in our Lumia signature program?
Mm.
I think for me, the most important thing is that Lumia is science backed, evidence based coach training that's deeply rooted in positive psychology.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I began my career at the intersection of research and positive psychology. And one of the pieces of coaching that I'm the proudest of is how grounded in empirical basis coaching methodology is. There is a true art and science to coaching. And when you come in as a student of Lumia, you can stand very confidently and be sure that what you're doing is truly in service to your clients, not only from the best ethics in the world, backed by the International Coaching Federation, but also some of the best research in the world that we constantly update and renew. So we teach you how to coach, how to work with
Mm-hmm.
humans, how to unpack your own biases, which is so very important. And ICF credentialing itself is complex because it's a big organization. There are lots of layers to gaining your credential. So we schedule a call to go over all of this with our students as they work towards their goals. And we cover a lot in our ICF credentialing prep. And that takes a really deep dive into the core competencies to make sure that students have a clear idea of how to take all that beautiful, juicy science and then apply it to the ethics and standards put forth by the International Coaching Federation. So we really bridge that gap for our students. And the way we do it is through mentoring sessions, practice, exchange, classes. So you will come out of this program knowing your stuff and feeling ready to serve.
Yeah, I tell people we're like the box set of coaching,
It's true.
the whole thing.
It's true.
How will the program help people launch their business?
Oh my goodness. Well, in addition to our regular classes, we run workshops constantly for our students. So built right into the curriculum that you'll take every week, you're going to definitely get niche sales, entrepreneurship, and branding. We also have an awesome business toolkit that we update constantly. I know that you support students every week in your office hours. We have our alumni network, which has thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over the world. And what's cool about the alumni network is that you can get real-time support for things that come up that you maybe didn't think about, like what kind of microphone to use when you're podcasting. That's not something you think about when you set out and coach training, but suddenly you're going to be on a podcast. Oh shit, what kind of mic do I use? There's people to ask who really care, who will answer your questions pretty quickly as your needs come up. And we also promote our graduates on social media, at our events, at our retreats, at our workshops. We give opportunities for people to write, to speak, to teach, to present, to do social media takeovers, and really get their name out there. And then finally, and I know that's a lot, but I think this is just evidence of how much we care about our students, is everything we do for them in addition to providing the education. We have our Lumia Coach Directory,
Mhm.
which is very cool. And folks can actually come to our site if they're looking for a coach, find our coaches, and there are a lot of great click-throughs there.
Yeah, and that leads us to the next question, and everyone asks this question: can I make money as a coach?
Yes, yes, you can. And folks do so in
Mhm.
so many ways. So,
Yeah.
one on one is a really popular way to coach. Group coaching, I see our students, our alumni building groups all over the place. John, I know you're a huge fan of them.
Yeah.
Um, Folks develop and teach online courses or programs.
Mhm.
We have coaches who have graduated from our program who do everything from branding to mindfulness and meditation to sexuality to finances, all through online groups and programs. We have alumni of our program who have written books, who have gone
Yeah.
on to become keynote speakers. We have a lot of students, and I know you do this too, John, who work in wellness tourism with
Mhm.
retreats, taking folks to far-flung locations to find themselves and come out the other end. Um, we have a lot of folks who do the grassroots approach too, which is partnering with local businesses and other coaching practices. There's in my neighborhood, there is a center that has advertising outside for a women's wellness,
Mhm.
women's therapy. And every time I walk by, I say, man, I wonder when they're going to start listing coaching there. And if I didn't have this job that takes up a lot of my time, I would walk over to that business and say, hey, I'm a coach. Do you want to offer coaching here?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other piece that can't be ignored is the way that coaching is really starting to show up in industry right now, in businesses where companies are looking to bring in coaches to work with their organizations. They're looking to train people internally on how to employ coaching skills. And I think that the number one opportunity that I'm seeing is in the space of management, where people who are already
Mhm.
coaches are going to be the managers of the future, because coaches have the skill set that's needed to not direct someone, but to empower and inspire someone to really draw the genius out, to create new thought in the world.
Yeah. And I want to say, because I know most people want the one-on-one, and you shouldn't limit yourself, because the other thing that's happening is there's a lot of ways that coaches are making money that we're not even aware of because of technology, the growth of this field. And to me, it's so exciting. So, yes, you can make money at this, and there are ways that you don't even know yet how you can make money at this. And so, if you have an open mind and you focus on coaching as a lifestyle and the craft of coaching, the way that you're going to make money will organically. I mean, it's, sky's the limit. I mean, I'm an example. Like I sometimes I feel like the liquor store owner who's selling pagers and hubcaps and M&Ms, and I have a lot of products, but they all stem from an organic place. And so not only can you make money, you can do it in so many ways.
Oh, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the community comes in too. Because as soon as somebody figures out something, super cool, the first thing they do is run back to the Lumia community and say, look, everyone, look what I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And so you're constantly evolving through watching others experiment in their own lives. And it's
It's
really
great.
fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my name from the Angry Therapist to the Human Bodega, since I've got.
Ooh,
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
like it. I like it. I'm just gonna stay Noelle because
Yes.
otherwise it would get too confusing. All right.
Do you
This
have to
is
have your shit together? Which is
yes.
another a common question and also misconception. Uh, I want to answer this question by saying that when I started helping people, I was at the lowest. I
Oh, me
had
too.
nothing, right? So I was post divorce. I didn't have friends. I was rebuilding my own life, learning, having revelations, and at the same time helping other people. And so, yeah, you don't have to have your shit together.
No, you don't. And something to keep in mind if you're thinking, well, how is that possible? Is that when you come into the space of coach training, you're learning a professional skill set, and your own
Hmm.
life can be an absolute dumpster fire, and you
Yeah.
can still be very good at your job. As you progress through the path of coaching mastery, one of the things that happens is through osmosis, you begin to take on the language of coaching for yourself. You
Hmm.
begin to enact coaching conversations in your personal life, in your friend life, in your family life, and you become a more self aware, anchored person in the world. When you think about yourself as a coach, and one of the reasons why we do work with people in our program on personal development is that in coaching, personal development is professional development, because we
Mm.
are all aspiring to
Yes.
move to a state of self-awareness where we can really have a lot of command and control of language.
I,
And that's a beautiful goal for all of
yeah.
us.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love how you put that. That's great. Okay, final question. Why is now the best time for me to become a coach?
Well, let's look out at the landscape of our world. So, what do we know? We know that coaching as a discipline is really, for the first time, beginning to take serious root in the public's consciousness.
Hmm.
We know that um, there are a lot of therapists out there, but there aren't enough therapists. We know
Hmm.
that insurance companies are starting to look at how to pay for coaching. We know that the International Coaching Federation has become the organization that has truly managed to capture all of the ethics and standards for the field. We have global standards for how to operate in our space. The
Hmm.
infrastructure of our discipline is beginning to be built. So everyone who comes in now are going to be the people who are actually shaping this field. And that is a fantastic position to be in, personally, professionally, intellectually. If
Hmm.
you don't like fences and boxes and you want to be part of a massive operation and building something new, the discipline of hope, please join us. We need more aware, kind, bright, compassionate practitioners to come into this space, because people need help. We
Yeah,
all need help. We need each other.
absolutely. And I'm gonna end with bringing it back to self. Why is now the best time to become a coach? If not now, then when?
Mm.
You know, now is the best time because you feel the curiosity, the fire in your belly, because there's something about you that is being drawn to this field. So if that's not enough of a reason, then it's never going to happen.
It's true. You have
Yeah.
one precious life. It's yours. Do
Yes.
what you will. Do what you will.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, friends. Thank you for taking the time to hang with us and to learn about Lumia. We are so glad that you're here, and we can't wait to see you inside.
Yes. All right. Be well.
Be well.